Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. I didn't get to see this, but Jimmy Kimmel's fantastic. And I love how crazy comedians drive Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So Kimmel was the target of Trump's insults during a Pennsylvania rally. This week, he called Kimmel the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards, made up a story in which Kimmel's wife begged him not to read Trump's Truth Social post and tell him, "Isn't it past your jail time?" joke. Trump said at the rally that he should have followed his wife's advice. So Kimmel's wife, who is apparently awesome, she is the executive producer and co-head writer, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and also executive producer of the aforementioned Academy Awards. So she took the stage. So Kimmel brings her out on stage. She's wearing a T-shirt that read, "Isn't it past your jail time?"
My friend wrote
holding
that
an
line.
Emmy. What's that?
My next door neighbor wrote that line.
Anyway, which she won for executive producing the aforementioned Oscars. And she had, and then she went through just a whole like row, screed about him taking away everybody's rights. And she said, "So my advice to you is shut up and go away. Go to Mar-a-Lago, spend all day, every day cheating at golf and masturbating to Newsmax, and let a competent woman take over. That's my advice. Thanks for listening."
Good for her.
I mean, the creepiest part of his whole "I'll be your protector" it was the "you're not gonna think about abortion anymore, pretty little ladies." Like, that is the most condescending of anything they say, is that little ladies, that's not gonna stay in your head till November, right?
Well, I mean, let's be abundantly clear. He is reassuring right-wing women that are still with him that are heading for the exits. This has nothing to do, again, it's like I feel the same way. Like the J.D. Vance addition to the ticket was never meant to bring in any women at all. It was just to reassure the Roseannes of the world that he was just as nuts as they remember.
Yeah. Animals strike curious poses around me and Hal Sparks. They feel the heat. The heat between me and...
Sounds like when dogs cry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Clyde was barking at his box of toys earlier.
No, that was Ron leaving. That's who he was.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the next big entertainment, Hal, Tuesday is right, J.D. Vance, Tim Walz.
That's right.
Debate. Monica Crowley is helping J.D. Vance prepare, the former Fox lady. She's playing the moderator. Crowley's name is listed in Project 2025 as a contributor, the thing that Donald Trump doesn't know anything about.
That's interesting. So is she going to teach him how to shake a fist or fist bump a handshake? Which are they going
That
with?
is mine and Chris's favorite. So they already shook hands, and then he tries to do an awkward fist bump,
And she just grabs
puts
it.
her hand.
She grabs his fist.
She just puts her hand in her pocket, just like, "Please don't touch me anymore."
Yeah. It's and then he goes, "Okay," and walks away, because I rest my case.
But this is why you say it.
Brain.
This is why weird is sticking, because they're both like trying to replicate human behavior, Trump, and they are the two weirdest humans I have ever seen.
Yeah, and again, I will go further that I will argue that they are both gross. And when you downshift gross for a political campaign, you end up with weird. You know what I mean? Like they live in the uncanny valley, which is usually reserved for poorly constructed androids and bad digital AI photographs from a year and a half ago. You're like, that just looks weird, makes my stomach hurt looking at it. Why does that hand have 9 fingers, and why does Donald Trump have a black lady's hair behind his usual wig in that picture? Oh, because he doesn't really hang out with black people. These are AI pictures. I see. And if he was, he wouldn't be smiling. The other thing. So
let's talk about Republicanery, as we keep calling it, and your level of concern. I love. Do you have the Grinch removing the light to have the? Yeah, to have the light fixed. This is Wausau Mayor Doug Denny. Have you seen this? Is facing scrutiny after video surveillance footage showed him carrying the city's outdoor ballot drop box inside on Sunday. Initially, he said the box was relocated, quote, to a safe indoor location until certain issues the clerk is aware of are addressed.
Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
So people had thoughts about the mayor bringing the
Sure.
Dropbox to his office.
To his workshop.
One said, I have huge concerns about this behavior, as there's no place for elected officials to manage, alter, or tamper with Dropboxes, whether they agree with their use or not. I mean, I think we're playing whack-a-mole with the stuff that, shenanigans is too wacky a word to call it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, this is the behavior of people who think they're going to win fair and square, and that the polls are rigged, and that Trump is ahead by a lot. They keep saying we're ahead by a lot, and ahead by a lot, and they're ahead by a lot. And so, if you felt that way, of course, you would go out and take the Dropbox inside the building so people can't use it as a Dropbox, and you can fiddle with its innards because you have access to the key. Or I guess you could leaf through people's ballots, which is the same as reading the mail, which is a federal offense. Fingerprinting, maybe? How about that? Because I'm guessing he's that dumb.
So then the last whack-a-mole was Nebraska, thanks to one Republican who used to be a Democrat. I guess that's where he got his soul from. Nebraska State Senator Mike McDonnell, a former Democrat. Why would you switch to the Republican Party this year?
I know.
Really, in time for Trump bloodbath? He is defending his decision to vote against the state election law, upsetting Trump and his allies. The Republican proposed law was a last-ditch effort to overturn a 30-year law that awards electoral votes by congressional district rather than statewide winner-take-all. He just said, we work hard, we play by the rules, don't try to change them. 42 days left to keep the rules in place since 1991. I mean, thank God, we're just dependent on one person with a basic sense of fairness, right?
Yeah. Well, again, this goes to the same thing with the SAVE Act, which they were trying to jam into the CR, and Mike Johnson didn't do it. So now, of course, he's a deep state rhino who's basically a Democrat, blah blah blah. But essentially, it wouldn't, even as awful as the SAVE Act is, it's never going to get signed into law by Joe Biden. No. And it's not going to get even with the CR, he would turn it down and they would close down. That's what they wanted to do. But the SAVE Act wouldn't even go into effect until the next election anyways. You can't change the material, elements of an election 60 days out. You can't do it. Yeah. So why are they passing it?
One last one. Want
to vote because they don't trust it.
Thank you.
So they're trying to trick these people into voting.
Thank you. They're never done. Republicans teeing up a legal challenge before 3 judges appointed by Trump in deep red Mississippi that could boost similar lawsuits in more competitive states. The RNC, blah, 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 argue Mississippi's violating federal law by counting mail ballots that arrive within 5 days after Election Day, which resemble statutes on the books in nearly 24 other states. A ruling in their favor could help them in similar cases elsewhere. To have people's votes discounted and disregarded at no fault of their own because the Postal Service, hi, Louis DeJoy, or a storm or something happens, interferes with the timely delivery of mail that happens in red states as much as it happens in blue states. The Mississippi lawsuit is a part of a very shrewd and misplaced strategy by the RNC to try to suppress the vote by filing lawsuits in courts where they think they're going to be successful in rolling it out to a broader audience, either in the Fifth Circuit or up at the Supreme Court, to create national precedent. I mean, here we are, desperately needing to keep this out of a Republican House of Representatives or a right-wing stacked Supreme Court, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and this is what they're trying to do, is pick and choose. It's court shopping, right?
Yeah, well, that's Project 2025. That's what the Heritage Foundation and all the kind of even talking Turning Points USA, that's what they're designed to do. Because the problem with Trump's first presidency, besides all of it, was that even Republicans and maggots were like, yeah, but he didn't really do anything. He passed Mitch McConnell's tax cut, which was great for businesses, but expires for regular people. And the wall didn't do crap, obviously, because somehow the border is worse after you built it. Thanks Access Road on the Mexican side of the border that flattened out the area so that previously untraversable terrain, you can now roll a suitcase down to the end of it where it ends at tribal land or private land. Gee, it's almost like people had already thought that through a long time ago. But they're like, he's going to screw it up again. He doesn't know what he's doing. And they're like, don't worry. We'll give him an instruction manual. We'll give him a coloring book, and he can color in as long as he stays relatively inside the lines, it'll be okay.
Well, election season is a sweet time of the year, right? As candidates coat their messages with lots of sugar to get your vote. Yeah, I said that. Now you can enjoy the sweetness of the election with authentic candidate cookies with the likeness of Kamala and Donald on your favorite butter cookie made by the famous deli in Chicago, Max and Benny's. You can purchase these once-in-a-lifetime cookies on the Stephanie Miller, Thom Hartmann, and John Fugelsang websites. To order, go to our websites, click on the banner for Cookie Candidates, or go directly to their website, cookiecandidates.com.